Learning how to code came from feeling hopeless. I started to have these thoughts that I was just wasting my time. I know I need to learn a skill, but I don't want to learn sales or e-com. It all just isn't my vibe. So out of pure desperation, I decided I'm going to search up the highest paid skill, and no matter what comes up, I'm going to go all in. That's when software development came up. I didn't know anything about code, but it sounded cool, so I went for it. But I didn't go all in like I was supposed to. I put it off and I decided that's for tomorrow. Then tomorrow became 2 weeks, and now my summer is over and I didn't learn anything. I finally decided that on the first day of class, I'm going to go up to the professor and tell him that I'm fully committed, and if there's any internship opportunities, I want in because I'm that committed. So I did exactly that, and he told me, Daniel, you don't know anything, absolutely nothing, no shot. He was right. I didn't know anything, and it crushed me. But what he didn't know was how much I cared for this. I don't like my job. I want to be able to help my parents out. I don't want to be a failure. I just spent the last amount of money I have on a car that keeps breaking down. So when he said that, it lit a fire in me so big. I felt like I could burn the whole school down. I was so angry. Who does he think he is? He doesn't know me. I'm gonna prove him wrong and shove it in his face. And that's really all I wanted. I just wanted to prove him wrong. So after that day, I studied code, I built projects, I went all in, I went hardcore every single day, hours on hours. All I did was code. I actually grew so angry that when I had his classes and there was like a teacher's pet, I would outwork the teacher's pet by 10x. I'm gonna turn this work in faster and better than you because I am better than you. I got so good learning outside of class that I knew what the teacher was going to lecture before he did the lecture. I didn't even need to go to class anymore. I just could do the homework and exams and I was good. That brings me to my lesson learned, which is use what you have. I used the frustration and pain as fuel to keep me going. At the time, I didn't have any connections. I had no mentors. I used what I had, an internet connection and frustration. Soon after that, I joined a programming club. The group overall wasn't amazing, but it led me to some opportunities. More specifically, a coding competition. And as soon as I heard about it, I knew I had to go because I knew that was the perfect chance I could get to shove it in my teacher's face. The coding competition came up and you were required to have a teammate. My random teammate didn't know how to code. It's a coding competition. I'm not too sure where you're going, but it's whatever. I just told them to try to help. The competition started with 20 other teams and they actually knew how to help, so I had no chance. I'm a freshman going up against seniors, absolute nerds that smelled like ass in there. I was done for. The only advantage I had was I studied the past competition, so I knew exactly the type of problem they were going to give. They start the competition and my heart's racing. I jot down a plan to solve the problem and I start coding. When I tell you this is the hardest coding I have ever done in my life, I have the pressure of 20 teams talking, typing, it's loud, I'm stressed. And in the midst of this, my teammate goes, hey bro, so since I'm not doing anything, can I just leave? And I was like, yeah bro, you're good. Go ahead and leave. He leaves, and soon after a bunch of other teams start leaving as well because they're finishing up their work, until I was the only person left in the room. I turned my work in and I felt exhausted. I had so much hope before coming, and now I just feel empty. At least I can say I put my absolute all into it. The next day the competition awards come up and I'm sitting with my teammate. They start saying the people who place top 5. 5th place goes by, 4th place, 3rd, and 2nd. And I turn to my teammate and ask him, do you think we're 1st place? And he was like, hell no, bro, I have no hope. I kind of knew he was going to answer that way, but I still wanted him to lie to me. It's whatever. And again, he was right though. I had no chance. I'm a freshman going up against seniors who all knew their shit. Then the announcer starts saying 1st place. 1st place goes to Daniel Guillen. I was so hyped. Let's go. F the doubters, you can't beat me. Look at me while I hold up this 1st place trophy. My ego grew bigger. It was bad. Oof, man. And when I got home, you know I had to rub it in my teacher's face. That brings me to the second lesson I learned. You win by being prepared for your opportunities. I kept coding every day, which made me more prepared. I joined a local programming club, which led me to opportunities. When my preparation met my opportunity, I won. I showed my teacher the 1st place trophy. I said, look what I got. I'm a freshman beating seniors. I had no chance and I still won. He pauses for a little bit and then he goes, straight face, nice. That's all he said. I thought it would feel different saying it to his face, but it really didn't. It also didn't faze him, so it made me even angrier. Like now I'm gonna go get an internship and rub that in your face, because that's where it all started. I used the lessons I've learned to go all in. I started to study lead code like crazy to prepare for the interviews. 4 hours every day, plus looking at job applications. I needed to become the best candidate for the job, because now I'm going up against graduates who want this just as much as me. I would look at all the technical skills that the job application requires and build projects around them, so I could say why I'm the perfect fit, because I have this evidence to back it up. I knew that the more projects I make, the better I get at coding. And since these projects are specific to each company, I make an offer so good they can't say no. Shout out Alex Ramosi. I also started to connect with other devs on LinkedIn and ask family and friends if they knew anybody. I knew if I did this, it would lead to more interviews. After a couple of weeks, I get a message from one of the people I connected with on LinkedIn. She said they were interviewing for a company and that I should apply. So I did exactly that and did the same process as before. I looked at the job application and built a project specific for that job application. The interview came up and he asked me basic questions on programming, like really basic. It was in JavaScript, and he asked me what's the difference between const, var, and let. So really simple questions. I also showed him the project I made and he was really impressed. Then the next day I get a call from him saying he would love to have me on the team. I was so happy. It meant so much to me because I learned this skill from the absolute zero. From my first line of code to professional developer, this is crazy. My parents are really happy for me. They don't have to worry about me anymore because I have a job now, so I'm good. I don't care about the doubters anymore. My success is louder than words. I'm blessed. God is good. That feeling didn't last very long though. The first few weeks of my job were rough. I had to learn professional standards, and that was really hard because I was doing a lot of coding wrong. I had to unlearn a lot of things. And when you have to unlearn and learn other things at the same time with the pressure of a team and a boss, I felt like I was gonna die. I had to put in extra effort outside of my 40 hours, but then that led me to fall behind in my classes. Eventually, I had to drop one of my classes. I was stressed all the time. I was scared I was gonna get fired. How could this happen? I went from feeling like the top of the world to the very bottom. I knew with time it would get better, but man, it's hard when every single day feels like you're getting kicked down. I couldn't give up though, because I knew if I did, I would be proving everyone who didn't believe in me right. So I kept going and going and going until eventually I got through it. I can keep up on my own now, and I feel grateful to be in the position I am in. Officially a knowledge worker. I've been a janitor for 8 years before this point, so I'm just happy I don't gotta take out people's trash anymore. The grind doesn't stop though, because now I wanna be the best I can be. Now, I want to close my story off with the 2 biggest actions I took in becoming a software engineer so that you can get there faster and smarter than me. Number 1, code for at least an hour a day. It's the lifeline of how I got better, and the more you do, the better you get. Which leads me to number 2, join a coding community and be active in it. Joining a club connected me to opportunities where I could show my skills. Just focusing on those 2 things guaranteed a job for me because I was actively getting better and building my resume. I got more content coming on the way. Thank you for watching. Peace.